And I guess with the offseason too, Amber mentioned in her exit interview that the number one priority was to land Kelsey in free agency again. Just how important was she to your team this year? How important has she been to the Fever? Obviously, the 8 years she's been with the franchise, and how badly do you want to keep her around?
I mean, yeah, she was the number one priority a year ago, and she's the number one priority this year.
Okay, let's talk about it, because Stephanie White just mentioned the silent portion out loud. In her most recent interview, she made it obvious that Kelsey Mitchell is a primary priority, not Caitlin Clark, a legendary player who shattered practically every record imaginable, not the player who sold out arenas from coast to coast and single-handedly restored the Fever's national significance. No, the attention is on Kelsey. Before somebody distorts this, let us be fair. Kelsey Mitchell is a top performer and a veteran who has earned her respect. However, there is a significant difference between retaining a star and basing your entire franchise around one. One makes you competitive. The other determines whether you are chasing a title or clinging to playoff leftovers. What's stunning isn't just what White said, but how confidently she said it. It was as if the decision had already been made before Caitlin's ankle touched the ground. Please share your thoughts on Coach White's statement in the comment section below.
I have not lost sight of the fact that when Caitlin Clark got injured, Stephanie White called it a, quote, blessing in disguise. I've also said that I believe if you gave Stephanie White truth serum, she would actually tell you she believes this team was better without Caitlin Clark. I believe that. And I felt that way for quite some time. I believe that she believes that Kelsey Mitchell is the superstar on this team.
Then came that line, a blessing in disguise. When your coach refers to your superstar's ailment as such, it ceases to be coach speak and begins to sound like treachery, because consider the numbers. Kelsey Mitchell scored an average of 19.2 points this season. Definitely solid. But Caitlin Clark was right there last season, averaging 19 points, 8.4 assists, the most in the league, and nearly 6 rebounds per game. The kicker is that she did it while reimagining how defenders combat the Fever. One raises those around her. The other is simply excellent at generating her own shot. Both are valuable, but only one is generational, and we all know which it is. Here's when things get even more ironic. Kelsey Mitchell's stats improved following the Olympic break last season, when Caitlin was finally freed as a primary playmaker. She scored more in Caitlin's offense than she did this year using Stephanie White's so-called motion technique. Let that sink in. The offense centered on Caitlin made everyone better. However, instead of acknowledging this, White acts as if the franchise's future is a one-woman show, and it is not Caitlin Clark's.
Ultimately, what Chrissy Sides ended up running was Caitlin's system. Now, this year, the second half of the season, it was the whatever system, motion offense system. But that system did not work very well for Kelsey. Now, Kelsey balled out, but she's going to ball out regardless. You know what I'm saying? And she's kind of a phenomenal player.
Now, let's begin this interview. The Polish is audible in every syllable. White does not add, "We're going to continue to build around her," when she says it. Not both stars, nor our center, but her, singular. It's the type of statement that tells you everything you need to know before the formal press release even arrives. It's business speak masquerading as basketball strategy, the type of sentence that indicates that a decision has already been taken. It's like one of those boardroom updates where the boss thanks everyone for their good work before announcing who will be replaced. But this is where the logic breaks down. White constantly bringing up loyalty, claiming Kelsey earned it after years of losing seasons, tumult, and rebuilding. And loyalty is admirable, but loyalty does not win titles. Generational talent does. The Warriors did not build around their most tenured role player. They constructed around Steph Curry. Cleveland did not win by relying on tenure. They went all in on LeBron James. That's how you create dynasties. Loyalty brings you stability. Talent grants you banners.
Now, Kelsey Mitchell is a very important piece. She's part of the big three. But there's only one Jordan-like generational talent on this team, and it's Caitlin Clark. The fact is, Kelsey Mitchell, Leah Boston, they were around before Caitlin showed up. And they got the number 1 overall pick to get Caitlin Clark.
And that's what makes this move feel like a betrayal, Not just to Caitlin Clark, but also to Fever fans who thought the club was finally turning corner. It is one thing to have internal conflicts. It's another to publicly dismiss the player that catapulted your team into the national spotlight. This is being called out by more than just fans. Analysts, insiders, and even former players all see the same fractures growing. When so many basketball minds get together, it isn't a conspiracy, it's unanimity. The truth is that when Kelsey Mitchell is your first choice, there's a limit. That is not an insult. That's the basketball truth. You can defeat the Atlanta Dream that way. Maybe even get by a fatigued Aces squad, but when you meet juggernauts like the Minnesota Lynx or a full-fledged New York Liberty, that ceiling hits hard. The saddest part is that Stephanie White is aware of this. She's been in the game for too long not to. She knows player types, spacing, and offensive balance. So, if she chooses to focus a franchise around someone who is not her generation's point guard, it is not a strategic decision. It is a political one. Something else is causing this, which is what makes it so aggravating.
Questions they ask is by far not good enough for me. I am sorry. I mean, you got Stephanie White right there. Ask these hardcore questions. What was really wrong with Caitlin Clark? The reason why she did not come back from that ankle injury. We never seen her in a boot. A groin injury is pretty much pulled muscle. Ask those tough questions. Ask her, do you believe had Caitlin Clark returned, y'all could have had a chance to go far? Now, granted, she might not have answered that one, but it wouldn't have hurt to ask.
And this leads us to the true elephant in the room, the injury story. Because when you start connecting the dots, the numbers stop adding up. What exactly happened with Caitlin Clark's so-called ankle injury? Why was there never a boot? Why did a groin issue turn into an ankle problem overnight? It feels more like damage control than medical updates. Fans are not foolish. They notice when timelines change and explanations contradict one another. That is not miscommunication. That is organizational dysfunction. And here's the red flag. Transparency is expected to be unavoidable in professional sports. When teams become silent, it means they are hiding something. Whether it's locker room stress, front office issues, or something more serious. Because if Caitlin was healthy enough to return but the team continued to keep her out, it is control, not protection. Compare this to how other franchises manage their stars. When Breanna Stewart went down, the Liberty provided updates at every stage. When Aisha Wilson had minor health difficulties, Vegas was forthright about them. Even Elena DeLorme's ongoing troubles were dealt openly. But Indiana,